Happy Friday, buddy. I always like starting shows with that exciting news because no matter what's going on, what's happening, just telling you it's Friday, just the fact that we're starting the weekend, that's good news. I am a purveyor, I am a disseminator of good news. You should thank your Uncle Si for that. I'm kidding, obviously. Welcome to the program. It's probably, I'm guessing, going to be a short and sweet episode because there isn't a whole lot to talk about. But one topic in particular stuck out to me, and it drove me to have an episode today. Side note, the professor, Armando Lara, was supposed to join me, and then he called in sick very last minute. I hope he's doing okay. If you were standing by for the live episode, that is why we got delayed a little bit. But we're starting nonetheless. The show must go on, and let's get into it. And when I say get into it, I mean more specifically, let's talk about the Golden State Warriors potentially screwing up colossally if they don't resolve this Jonathan Kuminga situation soon. We're also going to talk a little Valkyries, by the way, because they're an expansion team and they've made the playoffs. Let's give them their flowers. If you want to join the show, I'm solo today. The invite's absolutely open. I'll post the link in the chat in just a second. Let's try and have a good time. Let's talk Warriors. Let's talk Valkyries. We've even got a merch store. Side note, our YouTube page now has swag. I'm going to do some shameless plug-in. Sorry, that was the word I was trying to come up with. Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to the Golden Days.
They always find something to nitpick, and that's because there's expectations for us to win. Leave me alone this summer.
Woo! Let's go. In a minute, I'ma need a sentimental man or woman to pump me up.
Oh, the home stretch of our open. A new open will come in a few weeks. Welcome to the Golden Days. I am your host for the afternoon or evening or morning, depending on what time you're watching this. On Instagram and Threads, my handle is at Dog Wild. My handle on Twitter is at Surf Journalist. The program on both platforms at Golden Days Pod. We're going to get into it in just a second here. A lot to discuss, but I want to give some love to the organizations and individuals supporting our program. Without them, we don't exist. We also don't exist without the audience. So my sincerest gratitude to you as well. But in terms of who's financially supporting us, who's footing the bill to keep this operation afloat, let's start off with a cover band that represents not just rock and roll, but they represent country, hip hop, whatever is on your mind, whatever your taste desires musically. Decades, an awesome cover band, a professional cover band. They can play it for you, and they're available for your event by simply going to decadesofficial.com. They've got a contact section there. You could also email Kyle at atomicmusicgroup.com. Again, Kyle at atomicmusicgroup.com. If you're interested in booking a phenomenal cover band, they do this for a living, folks. That's how you know they're good at what they do. Uncle Eddie DeBartolo, the former owner of the 49ers, invited them to play a set at his Montana compound, and you could do the same. The 49ers are about to kick off. NFL football is here, and at a bare minimum, 8 or 9 times a year. I don't know how many home games the Niners have this season, but next door to Levi Stadium, the home of the 49ers, is a little place called Great America. If you're a Bay Area savant, if you're from here, you're very familiar with arguably the most popular theme park in the San Francisco Bay Area. And at Great America, before every Niners fan, they have what's called red zone rallies. Guess who's playing those rallies? You got it. Decades. They're playing everything from the 50s to today, from Chuck Berry to Katy Perry, and they could be there for you. Check them out and thank me later. One more time, decadesofficial.com. Mention the program, and they'll give you a nice discount. Today's episode, this is a unique one, and this is only going to be a one-off read, but being in the position I'm in as a host, as you know, in charge of a program like this, I've got an interesting phone call there. Forgive me that I can't answer that right now to the person. Occasionally, I get a lot of offers for product endorsements. And way back when, one of my early jobs in my career, when I was working at KNBR Radio, was being Gary Radnich's executive producer. I produced a lot of incredible human beings that brought spice to life, brought some variety to make this dull world a little more colorful. Gary Radunich was certainly one of them. I hope he's enjoying retirement. I bring up Radnich because one thing he ingrained in me back when I was a young pup learning from him was maintain integrity, journalistically speaking, meaning don't just take every handout people are throwing out there. Don't just shamelessly plug everything. And it's advice I try to adhere to. But this product right here, I haven't been a watch wearer in years. Let me see if I can showcase this right there for you. Okay, so hopefully you can see that a little clear. Watches are no longer the timekeeper that they were, meaning we've got our phones. None of us need watches anymore. They, at least for men, they've become far more of a fashion accessory. And this company hit me up. And the company is called Thorum, Thorum. There's a link in our YouTube description. If you're interested in buying any of their products, you get 15% off by clicking on that link. And they came to me and they say, look, all you got to do is just mention this incredible fashion accessory one time. They shipped it to me. I took a look. I'm like, you know what? Deal. I haven't had a watch in years. It's might as well try and look a little better, at least for the show and for people around me. So I want to give them some love. Again, they're called Thorum, Thorum. And this beautiful watch that I'm wearing right now, I want to mention this part. It's literally made with 4.5 billion year old meteorite right here on my wrist. And they don't just make watches, they make wedding rings. If I ever get married, big if, the bachelor life can be fun. But if I ever do settle down, I'm probably going to get my wedding ring from this company as well. My wedding rings, I'm sorry. They're phenomenal. The links in our chat look stylish. Maybe like me. I don't know if I look good or not, but I am confident in saying this watch makes me at least a little bit more of a classy individual. So thank you to Thorum. And last but not least, today's episode brought to you by FanDuel. Their logo is right there. And this gives me an opportunity to give some love to the Golden State Valkyries, who have clinched a playoff spot, who are going to be in the postseason as an expansion team. And bravo to them. FanDuel still does not provide odds for coach of the year, because I want to lay big money down on Natalie Nakase for well-deservedly being the favorite for coach of the year. At least she should be. The odds are not available. What odds are available, though, is who's going to win the championship. And the Golden State Valkyries right now, if you go to FanDuel, they're 7th in odds. The Minnesota Lynx are your favorite to win the championship. They have plus 105 odds. The New York Liberty are second at plus 340, the reigning champs. The Vegas Aces are third at plus 400. And I'm going to skip ahead to the Valkyries, who are 7th currently with plus 10,000 odds to win the championship. So if you're feeling good about your Valkyries, folks, put some money down, bet on it, have some fun. And if you win, bravo. Side note, if you bet on the Valkyries to get 25 wins this season, they've got, I believe, 3 games to go. They only have to win 2 of 3 to achieve it. I would love to hear from anyone out there who may have put money down on that plus 2,500 that FanDuel laid for anyone to bet on the Valkyries to get to that 25 win mark. They're almost there, folks. Now, one disappointing thing about the Valkyries before we shift gears and talk Warriors, and this part's a little disappointing. There is a tennis tournament called the Laver Cup. that's going to be held at Chase Center later this month. And this thing was scheduled, I think, like a year in advance. It was on the docket from what I've read and understood, even before the Valkyries as an expansion team were greenlit, approved. Before Joe Lacob ponied up the $250 million expansion fee to purchase the Valkyries as an expansion team and own them. Before all that happened, apparently Chase Center was booked for this Laver Cup tennis tournament. And immediately after the Valkyries clinched their playoff berth, I think it was last night, season ticket holders received an email from the Golden State Valkyries that game 2 of the playoffs, which is going to be held at the Valkyries' home location, which should be Chase Center, because of the Laver Cup and because of some weird rigidity where you can't move the dates for this thing, and for whatever reason, the Laver Cup has been given a priority in terms of who gets to play at Chase Center. The Valkyries, their first playoff game in franchise history, I'm not making this up, is not going to be at their home arena. Game 2 of that first round series is going to be at the SAP Center in San Jose, the same arena the San Jose Sharks play in. Look, never mind the fact that it's colossally disappointing that the Valkyries are not going to be playing in their home arena for their first playoff game ever. But why San Ho? Why not Oakland? What happened to this allegiance that I thought the Warriors organization as an entertainment group was going to maintain and pretend that they were going to feign some interest and empathy toward the East Bay, where the Warriors called home for 40-something years? Instead, they're playing, and Alan Day, absolutely right, in the chat is saying the same thing. Why not Oracle? But instead, they're going to play this game at SAP Center, which is a friendly reminder that when it comes to business and sports, San Jose is prized territory. I'm never going to forgive the San Francisco Giants, those greedy scumbags, for happily taking those territorial rights from the Oakland A's back in the late 80s, early 90s, so that they wouldn't move to St. Petersburg, Florida. Side note, in case you're unfamiliar with that story, very true story. I was alive and lived through it. The San Francisco Giants were on the verge of relocating to St. Petersburg, Florida. They're going to be called the St. Petersburg Giants. I'm not making any of this up. And the number one reason why that did not happen was because the Oakland A's, who at that time were the top dogs when it comes to baseball here in the San Francisco Bay Area, because Candlestick Park was not exactly a selling point for baseball. That place was freezing at night. Every game I went to, every Giants game at Candlestick, was just, you had to bundle up with multiple layers. Those were true fans at those games. And in the early 90s, the Giants were making a power play. They're like, look, if you're not going to build us a new ballpark, we're done playing at the Stick. We're tired of the A's being the top draw, because back then the Oakland Alameda Coliseum did not have Mount Davis erected yet. Mount Davis was all those extra decks of seats in the bleacher area. And so the Oakland Alameda Coliseum used to be a pretty nice place to go watch a baseball game. The East Bay Hills were a nice aesthetic in the outfield behind the bleachers. And then Al Davis and his greedy ass showed up and was like, I want suites. I want luxury suites. I want extra decks, and ruined the baseball stadium so that the Oakland Raiders could show up and play in the Bay Area for 20, 25 years before they bounced to Vegas. So nice work there, Oakland. And then the Giants, going back to them, sorry to talk baseball here for as long as I have been, but this is just a shitty story that is never highlighted enough. So the San Francisco Giants were about to leave, and the Oakland A's, who again were the top draw in the San Francisco Bay Area, they also owned the territorial rights to San Jose. And they gave that up so that the San Francisco Giants could find new ownership, get private funding for that beautiful stadium they play in today. The Oakland A's get screwed over completely, not just because of the territorial rights, but because of Al Davis. But fast forward 20, 30-something years, and you'd think for altruistic reasons, as a payback, the Giants would give that territory back to the Oakland A's so that instead of them leaving for Sacramento and then ultimately Vegas, they could have had a stadium in somewhere in the South Bay, and they would have stayed. here in the San Francisco Bay Area. My whole point of all this is San Jose, Silicon Valley, it's so flush with cash, and these sports owners, that's all they care about. And so with the Valkyries, instead of going to play in Oakland, which is no longer this manufacturing hub it once was, which was a huge reason for its burgeoning economy in the 50s and 60s, which attracted all these professional teams in the first place. Now it's more of, I'm sure there's still some manufacturing there, but Oakland does not have tech like San Jose does. And so the Valkyries, unfortunately, will be playing their playoff game in San Ho and not Oakland. Okay, I'm done with that story, but the Valkyries, nonetheless, are still making the playoffs, and that is awesome. Congratulations to the Golden State Valkyries franchise for achieving what very few thought was possible. And we'll get into that a lot more on Monday next week when Sophia Jones joins us for V for Valkyries, as she does every week. What I am here for today, and let me post the link if anybody wants to join the program to talk about anything. It could be Warriors, it could be whatever. It's Friday. The Warriors are still, as we record this on September 5th, have still not done a thing with their roster. They still have 9 players signed under contract currently. And we are now 23 days away from media day, from training camp opening. This is absolute madness. And what a lot of us have been waiting for is which one of the restricted free agents from the 2021 draft was going to bend first. And when I say bend, I mean either the player themselves giving in to whatever lowball offer the team was throwing at them, or maybe the team would have bended over, right, and given the player the money that they asked for. And there's been 4 restricted free agents, all from the 2021 NBA draft, who are all in this position where they have their teams lowballing. They want the kind of money that their draft peers have made. They want security with longer-term contracts. And the alternative for each player is, if they don't get the money that they're asking for, is to sign the qualifying offer. What that qualifying offer means, it varies in terms of amount depending on your draft position. For example, Josh Giddey, who was the 6th pick in that draft, is eligible for a little more for his 5th-year qualifying offer than Jonathan Kuminga, who was the 7th pick in the NBA draft. Cam Thomas was picked somewhere in the 20s, I believe. So he was eligible for $6 million next year, whereas Jonathan Kuminga eligible for $7.9 million. And I can't remember what the amount was that Quentin Grimes, the 4th restricted free agent, whose rights are currently held by the Philadelphia 76ers. I don't know what his qualifying offer is. Apologies for not researching that. My point is, at a certain point, one side or the other was going to bend to time pressure, to whatever type of pressure is being felt, or maybe the player would have bent, right? I mean, there's going to have to be a give here. It's in one direction or the other. Well, one of the 4 restricted free agents made a decision, and that was Cam Thomas, a guy who can score buckets. He has the criticisms against him include his team-oriented style of play or lack thereof. His defense has been questioned. He also had durability issues last year, where I think he missed approximately 50 games because I believe a hamstring injury. Correct me if I'm wrong of that, but that's irrelevant. What is relevant is that Jonathan Kuminga, this decision might be made by him, where he opts for the qualifying offer over what the Warriors are offering themselves. And what the Warriors are offering, in case you have forgotten, and apparently neither side has budged in terms of what they want, what they're prepared to roll with. In the case of the Warriors, they're offering Jonathan Kuminga a 2-year, $45 million contract. And what Kuminga doesn't like, he doesn't like this deal altogether, but the specifics of what he doesn't like, besides the actual amount itself, is the fact that the Golden State Warriors want the 2nd year of this contract to be a team option, meaning they want control over whether or not they're going to pay Kuminga next year. Translation, the 2-year, $45 million offer is the $45 million is not fully guaranteed. Only half of that is guaranteed for this upcoming season. The Warriors want the option to cut ties after year one. Kuminga's response is, no, I want a deal more closer to 3 years, 80 million. In this case, the graphic saying 82 million. And what Kuminga wants is not to be treated like a pawn. And he's made that very clear. He does not want the Warriors to basically just use him as an asset, as a figure for a future trade. He wants to feel valued. And again, he's 18th in his draft class in minutes per game, which is an utterly unjustifiable stat, given Kuminga's nowhere near 18th in terms of talent. I've seen some chatter recently on the social media vibes in that circle that, well, Kuminga is playing on a contender, and that's why his minutes were down. And look, that excuse makes perfect sense for year one. Year one, the Warriors won the championship. It made zero sense in year two when Anthony Lamb was getting his minutes. I forgot the minute situation in year three, but last year, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, if Kuminga had every second of Gary Payton II's playing time, this would not be an issue right now. And that made no sense. GP2 last year, I think, averaged 14, 15 minutes per game. How were those minutes not given directly to Jonathan Kuminga? I digress on that part. My point is, and then I'll welcome, I think Alan Day is waiting in the chat. I'm going to bring you on in just a second here. And again, this could be a very short show because there ain't a whole lot to talk about. But the fact that Cam Thomas is now betting on himself to earn $6 million this upcoming season and then become an unrestricted free agent after that, this could be the trend that Quentin Grimes, that Josh Giddey, and Jonathan Kuminga follow. And what Kuminga here, and the crazy part is, if Kuminga signs the qualifying offer, which again would give him $7.9 million, he also would have control over trades, meaning he would have a no trade clause. Cam Thomas is going to have a no trade clause. That's one of the perks of signing the qualifying offer. So if Kuminga signs that deal, the Warriors can't just trade him for another asset unless Kuminga agrees to it, and he will not be obliged to do so. You also lose him potentially, and given the way this is going with negotiations, with the way Steve Kerr's treated him, this could lead to the Warriors losing him outright next season for nothing. And one very important fact to know about next offseason, Kristen Peak was on the show last week, and she spelled it out in terms of the draft. This is a very deep draft next year. Teams are not going to want to give up their first round picks, the Warriors included. But besides the draft being deep, in terms of salary cap space, ESPN reporting, Shams Charania more specifically, that at least 10 teams are set to have cap space next year, meaning as much of a nightmare as it was this offseason for the 4 restricted free agents, largely because the only team that had any reasonable cap space this offseason were the Brooklyn Nets, and they squandered that, by the way. I can't remember off the top of my head what they used that cap space on, but it was nothing memorable. Michael Porter Jr. is the only noteworthy player I can think of with the Nets from this offseason, and based off how he's been commenting and acting, that should be a shit show next year. It'll be entertaining, but if you're a Brooklyn Nets fan, I'm guessing you're already gunning for the number 1 pick in the 2026 offseason. But 10 or more teams will have cap space next offseason, meaning 10 or more teams are preparing for the Kumingas, for the Josh Giddeys, for the Cam Thomases, so they can give them money. And look, a year from now, maybe the value of Kuminga dips considerably because he has a bad season. Let's say hypothetically that's how this transpires. You think Kuminga cares at this point? He just wants out. If this results in him getting, let's say, like a 2-year, $20 million contract next offseason, which would be a disaster by Kuminga's standards, since he could already make more than that just this offseason. But keep in mind, Kuminga's actions are being dictated largely by principle and not necessarily money. He does not think the Warriors have treated him well. And the Golden State Warriors, for their part, are on the verge of effing this up colossally. There is no world where losing Jonathan Kuminga for absolutely nothing next offseason is good news. None. I don't like good luck trying to spin that in a positive manner for me, please. Because again, the way this is transpiring, it feels like Joe Lacob's just doubling down on a soon-to-be 38-year-old Steph, a soon-to-be 36-year-old Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green. Oh, by the way, side note, I'm going to play the soundbite in just a second from Draymond Green, who we found out today is going to be traveling to China for a one-on-one game. I'll play the clip in just a second and share with you what I know. That stuff is wild. But and if you're the Warriors, are you cool with him just going there? Like, what if Draymond Green goes to China, plays this one-on-one game, and blows out his ACL? All right, like, how is that going to fly? Anyways, and then on top of that, Kuminga signs a qualifying offer, and a year from now, he's gone. What I'm trying to say here is this could turn out horribly for the Golden State Warriors in terms of just letting Kuminga go for nothing a year from now. Never mind the fact that if this is the situation you're putting yourselves in as the Golden State Warriors, how is Jonathan Kuminga going to be a happy camper this season? Playing under the premise of being undervalued by his mind and standards, being underpaid, disrespected. I mean, I thought the focus here was Stephen Curry and this Warriors dynasty trying to capture glory one last time. In what world is this the formula to do that? In what world is prioritizing cap space in 2026 so that you can maybe get Giannis or LeBron to pair with a 39-year-old Stephen Curry? In what world is that a priority over trying to salvage your young players who represent the future? What is going on here? And let's bring on Alan Day. Maybe he can provide some perspective.
Hey, what's up, Cy? How you doing?
Long time, man.
Friday. Good Friday. Love your energy right now.
Thanks, brother.
Hey, man. So, I don't see it as a conspiracy. I mean, I think it's clear that all four restricted free agents, they're all working in cahoots with their agents as well as the Players Association, and they are being advised to not take a 2-year deal with a team option, because if one of them do that, it sets precedents for the history of this CBA, where teams will be comfortable with making that atrocious offer to players. This year, and Jonathan Kuminga was and you can look this up, Jonathan Kuminga was the first player in NBA history to be offered a 2-year rookie extension with the team option. And obviously Cam was the second. It's a spit in the face to the players. In fact,
it is.
That's an NFL contract. That's an NFL contract. And that offer should never, ever be offered, ever, in the NBA. So I'm happy for Cam for not taking it. He stood his ground. It is highly likely that Jonathan Kuminga take the qualifying offer. In fact, if you saw many of my messages that I interacted with you for several months, I mentioned that this thing was going to carry on for a very long time, and Jonathan Kuminga had no reason with the Warriors.
And you're cutting out there, Alan, but I follow what you're saying, man. Where are you off to, by the way? What's your plan for the weekend? It's Friday. That's some damn good news.
Yeah. So I'm on my way to this awesome restaurant. It's called Malbag. It's in DTLA. Have some wine, hang out, kick back a little bit, you know.
Enjoy your weekend, brother. Enjoy.
Yeah, appreciate it. Hey, another thing, man, like that's on my mind. I hear a lot of Warriors fans talk about not bringing back this cancerous situation to the locker room in Jonathan Kuminga, but the cancerous vibes of the Warriors, it tracks back way further than Jonathan Kuminga. Because if you remember, David West, after winning the championship or during the celebration, he mentioned to the media that you would be shocked if you knew what was going on in this locker room. And for us to win, it's actually shocking for what's going on. It tracks back then. And ever since that moment, if you notice, every single offseason, there's chaos going on between it's either Draymond, Steve Kerr. I feel like it's a balancing act between those two guys of who's going to hold up the cancerous vibes within the locker room. To blame Jonathan Kuminga, to accuse him of the one that's holding up the cancerous vibes in that locker room is absolutely blasphemy. It's blasphemy, you know?
Yeah, agreed, man. Alan,
So,
I always appreciate you, what you bring to the table. Have a great weekend, man.
respect. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And I'm going to bring Brooklyn and Tim on in just a second. I want to add KS bringing up this OP shirt here. This is vintage, dude. This shirt's like 25 years old. It's still got the stitching on the shoulders. I don't know if you can see the orange there. No, this is before who bought OP? Was it Walmart? And then when that happened, the company went to shit. And this is old school. This is original OP back when the company. Side note, the founder and owner of the Believe Network, Bron Husenstam, and him and I go way back. He was a former OP rider. He was a professional surfer once upon a time, and OP was his brand. I digress. Solomon's Tech in the chat saying that what I said about Kuminga's 2-year, $45 million a proposed offer from the Warriors, what I said is not true, that it is fully guaranteed. And adding the Warriors will guarantee the second year if they don't get him traded. Well, Solomon, that's a huge if. I mean, look, when the moment a team option is in the hands of the team, no, it is not a guarantee. I mean, I don't know why you're trying to spin it like it is. You're right. If the Warriors keep him in year 2, then it's guaranteed. But the fact that there's an if should hopefully make you understand that the word guarantee becomes null and void at that point. So no, the only part of it that is guaranteed is year 1. Steve Wilton in the chat saying $22 million is not underpaying Kuminga. And this goes back, I don't mean to beat a dead horse with this, repeating this over and over again, but Steve, the entire reason why in Kuminga's mind, in Josh Giddey's mind, $22 million is grossly underpaying him is because of the contracts their draft peers have made. More specifically, again, Jalen Green, he has $146 million guaranteed through 2028. Scotty Barnes with the Toronto Raptors has $257 million guaranteed through 2030. Jalen Suggs with the Orlando Magic, $180 million guaranteed through 2030. Josh Giddey and Kuminga don't have deals right now. They're part of the mess. And then Franz Wagner, and this is the one that I think stings Kuminga the most, because Franz got picked after Kuminga, yet gets a $247 million guaranteed contract through 2030. So when you're coming back and saying, well, $22 million, is a lot of money. Yeah, to you and me, it's a shitload of money. It represents wealth. It represents security for life. But Jonathan Kuminga, worth noting, in his career has already made over $20 million. If he's saved that money in a responsible manner, in a way where it's reinvested, where he didn't just blow all of it, he should be fine this upcoming season making just $7.9 million of the qualifying offer, and then he's looking to cash in. Remember this, Steve. It's a very important point. A lot of this is about principle. This is not just about money anymore. And from Kuminga's perspective, his reasoning with the Warriors is, look, you've treated me like shit for 4 years. You constantly side with your coach over me. And if you're not going to let me go and enjoy my freedom to play on a team that I want to play for, you better pay me. You better make it up in some other regard. And the Warriors are saying no to all of it. So fine, the Warriors have a right to say no in the same way that Kuminga has a right to take that qualifying offer and then just bounce a year from now. And that is not an end result that benefits the Golden State Warriors at all, in no regard. Never mind the fact that a lot of people have brought this up. The Warriors are deathly afraid of losing Kuminga and having him turn into a superstar with another team so that they look like fools in the process. A lot of variables at play here, but ultimately, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that $22+ million is not a lot of money. It's a shitload of coin. With that said, Kuminga's draft peers have made way more coin, like 10 times the amount in some, even more. Some in a couple of those cases, 15 times. So that's Kuminga's perspective on this. That's also Josh Giddey's perspective on it. You might not like it, and that's your right, but that is what they're negotiating from. And when you, again, consider how much these other players have made, and when you consider how many opportunities these other players have gotten, I can at least understand why Kuminga's pissed. I get it. I honestly have a hard time with people who don't get it. I could understand seeing both perspectives, but if you're going to sit here and just turn the blinders on to Kuminga's side of this and just pretend that he should shut up and play, dude, you're detached from reality here in terms of human behavior. And again, Kuminga's pride, which is playing a part in all this. And when you look at the comparable salaries that his draft peers have made, I get it, is all I'm trying to say. I could understand his frustration in all this. And last but not, let's bring Brooklyn on the show. How you doing, brother? Thanks for waiting.
Hey, what's up? You can hear me good?
Loud and clear. Floor is yours.
Yeah, so this whole narrative, it seemed like it's some type of narrative about Kuminga being cancerous and this and this. So Jimmy Butler, right? As far as I can remember, he didn't leave the Bulls on non-toxic terms. When he was in Minnesota, he turned into a cancer. When he went to Philly, I'm pretty sure it was something wrong there, so Philly shipped him off. Miami, we seen how toxic he was in Miami. This dude, he got sued. The place that he was living at, right? It was I don't know if y'all noticed. He left the place trashed. Go look it up.
You're talking about the rental, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, this dude, toxic, leaving Chicago, toxic in Minnesota, toxic in Philadelphia. We seen how toxic he was in Miami. He left the place trashed, and y'all go say he's the perfect locker. He's a warrior for warrior culture, and throw him all the money in the world. But Brooklyn, look at our record once we traded for Jimmy Butler. So you're gonna pay all that money for a second round exit. I thought we was about championship runs. You paid all that money just to get a good ending to the regular season. And when the second round came, he couldn't get you one game. But he was injured. He was hurt. I mean, he was hurt. Jimmy Butler, come on, bro. No. So this whole cancer stuff, you got a cancer in your locker room waiting. He wanted the max money. We didn't have to give him all that. He couldn't take 40. He couldn't take 45 mil. He had to get the max, knowing he's not an all NBA player. Hell no. The biggest cancer right now that's waiting to explode is Jimmy Butler. So get off Kuminga.
Now the good news, real quick, Brooklyn. The good news is Stephen Curry loves having Jimmy by his side. So right, and so if Steph's happy with it, I'm kind of okay rolling along as well. What I'm hearing from you, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, is that the Warriors basically are talking out of both sides of their mouth. Where on one side of their mouth they're going, "Hey, Kuminga, we don't know about you, and this is the money we're offering because you spoke out against our coach." And then the other side of their mouth, "Hey, Jimmy Butler, you've done the exact same shit, but we'll give you $60 million.
Yeah, at multiple stops, he's been toxic. He left his own personal place trash. That's a nasty human. Think about this.
And look, in Jimmy Butler's defense, he makes so much money that in his mind, because he got sued, right? I think he got sued for like 100,000 or a couple 100,000 by some landlord. In his mind, he probably thought, "I'll just pay it off. Who gives a shit?" Right? But I see what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
And then another thing with the Steve Kerr thing that I brought up weeks ago, right? I'm not saying he's a horrible coach because he's a good coach, but
I'm not saying that either. I'm with you.
I believe that just like players get washed up, people be like, this player's washed up. Coaches get washed up too.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to those 4 titles, right? I said this. That first title against Cleveland when we was down 2-1. This whole Steve Kerr system, a video coordinator convinced him to put Iguodala in the game. That wasn't Kerr's intellect. A video coordinator. Yeah. And that flipped the series. That's ring number 1. The next 2 rings, we had the teams with Durant. We won those next 2 rings. That last one against Boston, that was our most impressive, but that wasn't within Steve Kerr's system. If you remember, Steph Curry, he won his first finals MVP when we ran the pick and roll. The Celtics, they was in drop coverage. Curry was cooking them with the pick and roll. You understand what I'm saying?
No, I do 100%. Yeah, I follow.
It's
By the way,
like
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
yeah. So it's not like Steve Kerr's motion offense had a big stamp, like where it's like, yo, that was Kerr's motion offense. No, we went to pick and roll against Boston. That's what gave Curry his first Finals MVP. So people need to stop this whole Kuminga, need to get with Kerr's system. Kuminga cancerous, but we giving Butler. Butler didn't even want to play for us. Like
you're right. Until the money, right? Money talks, man. This is why I've been saying with Kuminga. As unhappy as he is, throw him the money, the ducats, and he'll turn around. By the way, if you don't mind changing subjects for a second here, I don't know how familiar you are with this. And then Tim, you're going to be next. Chardal, you're closing the show. I like the tradition we're rolling out here, the routine. Have you seen this graphic?
No, I heard you talk about this. What is this?
This is so again, I don't know who this guy is. The guy on the left, if you're watching this on YouTube, if you're listening on the podcast, I'm showing a graphic. The written language is, I don't know if it's Mandarin or Cantonese. It's Draymond, and he has some verbiage on a jersey I've never seen before that again is written in a different language. There's another player who I'm guessing is in China. Please correct me if I'm wrong on that. I hope I'm correct on that. The reason why I say China is because Draymond Green has come out, and we're going to hear this soundbite. Oh, let me switch gears here. Hold on one second. Here is Draymond Green. He uploaded this video that we're all going to listen to together. Can you see this okay, Brooklyn?
Yep.
All right, so this is Draymond. He posted it's only 17 seconds. And if you're listening on the podcast, you're going to hear the audio. He's standing in a gym. I don't even know where the hell he is. I don't know what do you?
Mm-mm.
So, and listen to Draymond, who is accepting a challenge from, I believe, a player in China. And he's supposedly going to go to China to play a one-on-one game, best to 100. That's a lot of points. Anyways, here's Draymond.
Hey, how you, Joe? I'm Draymond Green. Big thanks to Jerry for the invitation. On September 19th, I'm coming to Sing Sia Jan in Chuzhou. This isn't just an appearance. I'm jumping into a 100.1v1 street battle. Get ready for some straight fire. See you in Chuzhou. Cheers.
So, whoops, hold on. So my guess is someone offered Dre a ton of money to do this, right? I don't think Draymond Green is flying to the other side of the world just to play a one-on-one game. Something tells me there's some marketing involved here, some sales. But I look, just like hypothetically speaking, man, like what if he gets hurt? What if he gets hurt on this trip? Like what are we doing here? What's going on? I don't understand anything that's happening.
I'll say this. The first thing that comes to my mind, the Chinese guy looks real young, nice, and muscular. So let's put this in the contract. Whoever wins gets the warrior spot and the loser stays in China. So hopefully Draymond loses and he stays in China and we get that young looking Chinese player. Let's do that.
The whole thing is weird, dude. I saw that on Twitter. I don't even know what's going on, but Draymond, I guess, is going to be going to China and playing a one-on-one game.
100 points. He can't even score 3 baskets in the NBA.
I'll never forget, dude. Draymond Green got a triple-double, what is it, like 2017, 2018, without reaching double figures in points. He was that close to getting a quadruple-double, dude. The guy scored, I think, 4 or 6 points, but got a triple-double because of rebounds, passes, and steals, and he couldn't get it in points.
And
dude.
now he's going to try to go to 100. Listen, whoever wins, and I hope the Chinese do win, let the winner get the Warriors contract and keep Draymond over there. That's it, man.
All right, brother. Any final thoughts, Brooklyn, before I bring Tim on?
Oh, yeah. I just want to give a shout-out to you because I never knew you worked for KNBR.
I did, but that's how I started. Yeah. When I was in college, I interned, and this is where I tell anybody aspiring, and look, man, this whole scene's changing constantly, but at 8% of everyone who I've seen have success in this media industry did the internship, paid their dues, worked their way up. And that's what I did, man. I was an intern at KNBR back when they were like a really big station. I mean, times have changed. Speaking of radio, right? Like radio is just a dead medium pretty much. But yeah, man, I worked there for 10 years and took advantage of the networking and the relationships. Like, again, Rick Barry, my entire relationship with him is because I was his executive producer once upon a time and just busted my ass for him. And he respected it. And next thing I know, I turned 40 years old. This is before we started working together again, but we always stayed in touch. My 40th birthday in Chicago, I get a phone call from him, and he's just like, "Happy birthday!" I'm like, and this wasn't the first time, but like he does shit like that. It's crazy, and yeah, man, that my experience there opened a lot of doors, dude. I'm perfect.
When I seen Barry, I said, "Wait, sorry." I said, "You're a somebody." I said, "Who? He's a somebody. He's bigger than what we think he is." It makes sense.
Somebody, but like we're all somebody, right? Or we're all nobody. But thank you, man. I do appreciate that. Where are you at, Brooklyn? What's on the agenda for a weekend that I think is badly deserved for every
my Raiders, Raider Nation, waiting for Sunday. My Raiders. Hopefully we take it. Raider Nation.
Beautiful. Football's back. I love it, dude.
Yeah.
Good stuff. All right, Brooklyn, come back, man. Where in the world are you, by the way?
Brooklyn, New York City.
Oh, you're literally in Brooklyn. Oh my God, dude. I love Brooklyn, man. Like, good stuff. What's your interest in the Warriors all the way out in Brooklyn?
I just, like I said, growing up, Warriors, Dodgers, Raiders, it just attract to it.
I hear you. Nice, man. Come back on the show, brother. It was nice to meet you.
All right, bro.
All right, take care, Brooklyn. Good stuff, dude. That was an awesome segment on the show. Bringing it. Let's get Tim. Tim, how you doing?
What's up, Sar? Can you hear me, brother?
Loud and clear, man. Floor is yours.
What's up, man? Hey, look, first, I just wanted to give you a shout out, man. I super respect you. I mean, I love your content. I love the way you.
Thank you.
You're very real in your approach, man. And I just, what you said earlier about JK, man, the amount of disrespect the young man has taken on is tremendous to me. And I think what a lot of people are slipping on is when you talked about the QO, the qualifying offer, is that I definitely think he's probably going to take it. And I think what people are slipping on is, Cyrus, he's going to make, even if he takes this 7.9, by the time he's 23 next year, he will have made $34 million at the age of 23 years old. And he's
closer to like 15, right? When you take out taxes and fees and all that. Still a lot of money. Still a shitload of cash. Sorry.
Yeah, and he's going to be a free agent, and he'll have a no trade clause that he can kind of control himself. So even if, say, middle of the year, they do want to finally trade him and realize they can't get anything, they can't lose it for nothing, he'll be able to kind of direct and dictate where he goes. I mean, like Phoenix, for example, they had that 4-year, $90 million on the table for him, but the Warriors won't work with them to get him that chance.
Well, because the Suns have nothing to offer, right? Like some teams out there do have assets you can get back, but dude, the no trade clause is insane. Like Kuminga will have that power, and just to add to that, Tim, I don't know if if this relates to you or if you have this added perspective, but Kuminga grew up with humble beginnings,
very humble. I agree with you 100%, man.
So when you have nothing growing up and you suddenly have 35 million. Dude, like I think you're going to be okay, Like I think you're going to be able to just sit back and go through a year of unhappiness or whatever his emotion is, and then cash in after that.
Yeah,
right?
And his mom, remember, as he said, I remember in some of the postseason, his mom is like a pastor. He's very heavy on his faith, so. I just, you think about somebody grew up like that. I just don't see him as some kind of flashy out there blowing his money. And if you even pay attention right now, Si, throughout this whole thing, and, I've been listening to you the whole time. When you go back to the season, right, he hasn't, the coach of this team is the one who went out on a media tour. He went on Kawakami. He went on 95.7. He went on Tom Toba. He went on everything known to man to basically tell the world what you just saw against Minnesota wasn't real. He felt the need to go out and speak against this young man for absolutely no reason. And you haven't heard this young man say anything. I mean, this is what, to me, you think about some of the other arrogant, younger type of players, how they would lash back at him and they would be really playing this game in the media. And this kid isn't doing any of that. He's doing anything. Every now and then you see posts of him just working out. And that's why I like the young man, because not only has he played the 18th amount of minutes out of his whole draft class, what people fail to realize, and they never bring it up. You bring it up. And every now and then I do like Bonte, because Bonte will try and fight for this kid and bring up his good things about him.
That's what I've heard that too. I've heard Bonte's come around a little bit.
He really,
even though he's still acquiesces and thinks Kerr's a genius, but at least he is also speaking up for Kuminga. Sorry to interrupt you.
It's some of them, Si, who are absolutely puppets for the Warriors. The Monty Pools of the world, of Mark Willards. It's some of them out there who literally speak for the Warriors and don't.
What happened to Monty? Because you're right, dude. Monty Poole is a Kerr stan.
It's
And that
not even
guy like
close.
used to be a legit journalist. I don't know
Yep,
what
it's
happened.
not. I mean, it's not even close. That's why I'm, and I'm not trying to, advertise another person's show on your show, but that's why I was telling you about Bonte. They got a little show back and forth, and Bonte really will speak positive of Kuminga, and Monty he's just a super hater to me. But anyway, like this kid literally nobody speaks on what this kid does when he plays 30 minutes a game because he's only got it like 42 times in his career. But the kid plays winning basketball. He gives you 21 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists with 40-some% shooting from 3, and nobody speaks on it. It's almost like it's unheard of, right?
And Desiree in the chat. And Desiree, Chardal's going to come on next, and we're going to wrap it up. This is a short show tonight. Forgive me for that. I know you expressed interest in coming on, but he writes that, Desiree in the chat is basically trying to diminish Kuminga's accomplishments in that Minnesota series, acting like Kuminga didn't do enough because they didn't actually win those games. And look, first of all, if that's your logic, if your logic is the players' achievements are worthless without wins in the postseason, then I guess Stephen Curry, we're going to blame him for 2021 because that 2021 Warriors team had nothing outside of Stephen Curry. Andrew Wiggins hadn't stepped up yet. Draymond Green was still the Draymond of, I don't know if I'm back yet from my 2-year vacation. Steph was alone, man. Like he was surrounded by Brad Wanamaker, Michael Mulder, and you're going to blame him for those 2 play-in losses to the Lakers and the Grizzlies? Or are you maybe going to acknowledge that he did his best, put up some damn good numbers, and they lost because he had no help around him? What help did Kuminga have in that series? And here's the part that I really don't like that take. Jonathan Kuminga was getting DNP'd at the end of the regular season, in case you forgot. He was DNP'd for the Rockets series. And in a matter of a week, he's asked to go from rotting on a bench for no good reason, side note. Like, it's not like he's given a concrete, definitive reason by Kerr. Like, well, we need better shooting. Like, no, he's just literally going to using his gut, using his instinct as justification for benching him. And that's asinine, dude. That is not acceptable to me as an excuse to diminish your life, to diminish your professional role, to impact you financially. Yeah, that's Steve Kerr's excuse time and time and again. It didn't feel right. That is ridiculous, dude. Like, that drives me up the wall when you're using just because as an excuse for a huge decision. Just because is a weak-ass, simple-minded excuse for any decision that you're trying to justify. Back it up with some concrete reasons here. So Kuminga gets screwed over with those DNPs. He gets screwed over at the start of the Rocket series and isn't even playing until Jimmy Butler gets hurt. And then literally has to flip his entire mentality, has to suddenly go from being a reserve who might get some minutes, who's playing spot minutes, to being a starter, to being the guy everyone's looking at to score points. And guess what, Desiree? He still scored points. Like, what more do you want from him? Like, are you upset because he wasn't rebounding enough in that series? That is an ignorant opinion, all right? That is, dude. And if you want to, we'll save it for another day in terms of going off. But I do not appreciate sitting here blaming Kuminga because the Warriors didn't beat Minnesota. That's insane, dude. He's one guy out of 12, and he was the only guy out of those 12 doing anything in that series. Sorry to get emotional there and rant.
But see, that's the thing about people that don't like JK. That instead of them saying, "Listen, man, 22-year-old basketball player completely taken out of the series. How in the hell did he keep it mentally together to even go out there and do that?" Like, that's what's impressive. Like, so the Desiros out of whatever the guy's name, what they'll say is we lost, but what they won't acknowledge is how in the hell did this kid keep his mental makeup together to go out there and perform that way? Why won't the Desiros of the world call out the players on the team who didn't step up and help us win games? So the thing about it, Si, is that the haters are always gonna find the negative about the young man instead of the positive. And so, like, when you and I'm not even saying positive, I'm not even saying that you got to go one way or the other, but acknowledge the fact of what you just said. This is a guy who's 22 years old, who has seen all of this stuff with this team, and now gets to the playoffs. And if you go back to the Clippers game, the game right before I think the first play-in game,
correct.
Nobody even told him he was not going to play. All Kerr told him is they were going to change up the rotation. So for this kid to not just be devastated for what happened at that game and then what happened against the Memphis game and then all of the Houston series. Sa, do you know how many 22-year-old basketball players would have been mentally toast, mentally fried? And so for people to come on, this is why I like this young man the way I like him, because you think about his beginnings, what he come up from at Congo and Africa. You think about how mentally tough he is. You think about the Phoenix game when he hit those game-winning free throws to close out the game. You think about the Houston games when he hit the shot in overtime, the dagger shot to kill him in Houston. And then in the Houston and Golden State when he hit the layup and Steph and Dre jumping off the bench going crazy. You think about how mentally tough this guy is and has played winning basketball. But all these guys, the haters, all they like to say is he doesn't fit and he doesn't play winning basketball. And they go to those games against Houston, against Minnesota, when this kid played his ass off. Yeah. The only reason you had a coach on a media tour was because what he did. I have never in my life seen an organization let a head coach go out and do everything he can to try and devalue a player and then try and hold a guy hostage and not let him go. I've never seen anything like this ever in my career. That's why, yes, I'm a Warriors fan. Yes, I would have loved to seen it work with Kuminga here. But at this point, now I want to see a young man get an opportunity to go and flourish, because literally we are playing with his mental emotions to go through what we are doing to him. It's almost like mental torture for what's happening with the young fella. So
and the fans who hate on him, and Desiree, you're coming on in just a second, they'll find any excuse. At first, it's like he's not efficient enough, so then his field goal percentage goes up. Then it's like, okay, his defense isn't good enough. Then his off-ball defense isn't good enough. Then he's not a passer. Then he's not a good and he addresses everything. It's just always something else, man. And ultimately, it just comes down to Steve Kerr, and a lot of people just would prefer to defer to him over thinking independently and maybe coming to a realization that does not fit a Warriors fan narrative, which is, oh, wow, or maybe our coach is not quite the genius we thought he was. And the evidence, to me, is just in the fact that not a single young player has thrived under this head coach, man. Not one. Tim, I want to move on here and get Desiree on and then Shardal. Okay. Any final thoughts, brother? And where are you joining us from?
I just want to say, like, to me, Bob Myers plays a major part in what has happened in this young man's career. He should not have drafted him. This guy should have been put to a team who was going to empower him. I love how you had Kristen Peak on here, because she knows this young man. This young man used to go against Scotty Barnes and Cade Cunningham and Chet Holmgren and all these guys growing up, and he used to dominate these guys. So now he gets to the pros and he sees these guys out here able to flourish and do their thing, and he has to just sit here and just watch. I'm telling you, I am more impressed with his mental makeup than any of the other stuff, because I played D1 college basketball, and I can understand what it's like to sit there and not be put in a game after game, and then now you're just thrown into it, and now you got to go perform, and he does it. So that's different, man. That's next level. So I appreciate it, Simon. I appreciate you,
Tim. And Tim, just to add to that, and I really do thank him for that call. Literally everybody who actually played defends Kuminga. Everybody who actually has real experience playing basketball. Another former D1 player. I think Alan Day is a former D1 player as well. Everybody I know who played in the NBA, who played at high levels of college, they all defend him. They all understand why Jonathan Kuminga is hyped. And the only people hating on him is Steve Kerr, and then people who think Steve Kerr is a genius. That's your pushback. And I ditched that side a long ass time ago. Before I bring Desiree on the show, I want to read these stats to you real fast. This is Jonathan Kuminga in that Timberwolves series, a series that people like Desiree is going to come in and say, well, he didn't lead to winning. In game 2 of that series, Jonathan Kuminga, played 26 minutes. Important side note, Kuminga came off the bench in all those games, despite the fact that he was the only legitimate scoring threat for the Warriors in those postseason games. In game 2, he plays 26 minutes, 8 of 11 from the field, 1 of 3 from deep, 5 boards, and an assist to go with 18 points. But the team didn't win because of him. He came off the bench again. Game 3, Kuminga comes off the bench. This was the game they lost 102-97. Really, the only hope the Warriors had of winning the series was pulling off game 3 at home. Jonathan Kuminga in that game, 30 points, 11 of 18 from the field, 3 of 4 from deep in 36 minutes, added 6 rebounds and 3 assists. Only had 2 turnovers in those 36 minutes, was a +5 in net rating. Every starter in that game was in the negative in net rating. But, it's Jonathan Kuminga's fault because he's not a winning player. I don't, Desiree, why are you hating on Kuminga so much, man? Welcome to the show.
Okay, hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, okay. So before I start, I'm not trying to say I'm hating on Kuminga. I just want to show you my perspective. So
Okay.
I said he looked great. So I didn't say he did bad. He wasn't the reason why we lost. But people are like using this series as like a career defining moment, why he should get more money and why he's this, why he's that. But I just want people to understand that, yeah, he was amazing. But there's 2 things we got to like open our eyes to. First, Curry wasn't there, so he's not playing with Curry. So when we think about contracts, the next contract, the next season, he's gonna be playing with Curry. So the fit is gonna matter. And second,
I'm gonna pause you there for 1 second, real fast, Desiree. Real fast, I gotta pause you for 1 second because real quick, it was not Kuminga's fault that Steve Kerr decided to not play Kuminga and Steph together more than they did. B, are you gonna sit here and tell me that Steph has issues playing with certain players? Because I've never seen an issue with him and Kuminga together.
I'm talking about the whole team. There's a reason why Kerr DMP'd him, and that was just a spacing problem. You got 3 non-shooters on the court at the same time with Draymond Green, Jimmy Butler, and Kuminga. I mean, I can understand it why he would DMP them. There's not enough shooting. We're in the modern NBA. We have to have some shooting. So I see Jimmy Butler like practicing his 3-point shot. I see Draymond practicing his 3-point shot. So maybe it could work next season. Who knows? We'll see. But back then,
Desiree, when you say those 3 hurt spacing, do you think 3-point shooting is all that matters? Like, is there mid-range shooting? Is vertical spacing something you're just going to ignore?
No, but they're going to just clog the paint. Draymond, the person that's guarding Draymond, they won't be looking at him unless he's at least like 5 feet away from the basket because he has no offensive back, to be honest. He can't shoot. His mid-range shot is cooked too at the point. Jimmy Butler,
Draymond's cooked, period. Yeah,
Draymond is cooked. Jimmy Butler has a great mid-range shot, so he's fine. But JK's main like ability is to drive, and to drive you need to have open space. You need 3-point shooters to not unclog the paint. So when you have 2 basically non-other shooters with JK, it's hurting JK's ability to play good.
Well, what about
that's what I'm trying to say.
But Desiree, to push back on that, you're mentioning 3 players in a 5-player game. So if those 3 are out there, but your other 2 players are Steph and Buddy Hield, we're going to have to agree to disagree that those 3 surrounded by 2 elite shooters doesn't work. I don't buy that logic, man. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. I mean, we could just agree to disagree. I just feel like
exactly. Yeah. And that's fine. Look, you're always really respectful, dude. That's why I keep bringing you on. Continue on, man. I just go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, you could play like that, but I just feel like it's better to at least have 3 shooters on the court. And yeah, so that's my first thing. And my second part was, so I'm not trying to hate on JK. I think he's a great player. I just think like it's not the right fit with us. I feel like if you send him to another team, it's going to be better for him. And for right now with Curry in his last years, trying to get that last chip, I feel like that's the best thing. And yeah, I'm low-key getting blanked. I think that's what I was gonna say.
You and I are in complete agreement that Jonathan Kuminga it's obvious he's not a good fit. You're absolutely right. The problem is, what's the solution? Because the way the rules are set up, trading him is nightmarishly difficult. And you're looking at a scenario where your 3 best players, all your ticket sellers, Stephen Curry, Jimmy Butler, and to a lesser extent Draymond Green, they're old as dirt, man. And I don't mean to sound disrespectful, but they are. They're by professional athlete standards. These are grandpas. And what happens if Stephen Curry suffers an injury where suddenly he has to miss 50 games? I need this hypothetical is very important, Desiree, because this is the reality that could very easily play out. Stephen Curry's turning 38. He's not playing 82 games on a year-by-year basis. Hasn't done that in a while. What if he suffers a serious injury? You're dead in the water if you don't have Jonathan Kuminga. Do you see what I'm saying?
I mean, yeah, that's a great point. That's true, but I do think the additional free agent signings we're going to get with Horford, Melton, maybe Seth or one of them, plus Jimmy. I feel like we could survive. I feel like it's not going to be that bad for sure.
Easily, yeah.
I mean, we could do good, and I understand JK would be nice. JK would be nice, but it's just the 3-point shooting. It's just the spacing. That's all I want. If one of the players,
I hear you.
Draymond, Jimmy, preferably, can just like develop the 3-point shot, that would be good. And I know you guys are thinking about the future with JK and like after Curry's years, all those things. I understand that,
Because they're
but to
old.
me,
Because Steph's old.
it's
Yeah,
true.
they're
But
yeah.
would you rather stake it all for this 5th chip, or go with an uncertain future? That's what I feel like. The 5th chip with the generational player in Stephen Curry, one of the generational players. I feel like it's better to bet on him than bet on a future. These young guys that we don't really know, like Pods, he's good, but I don't think he's gonna be like our main guy. Not really. JK, he has the potential to be our main guy, but I don't know. There's flashes, but still, I'd rather be it on a generational player as Curry. I would rather put my bet on that.
See, you and I are like we're far more on the same page. And my guess is like all the Kuminga haters, they're just afraid to actually come on the show, man. I challenge these people regularly, and I try to be nice about. I've been trying to be nicer about it lately, so they're not like intimidated. I'm like, just come on the show, because like most things, when people have discourse in a conversation, you realize you have far more similarities than you may think. We're on the same page in terms of the fifth championship. And I'm going to add something to that, Desiree. Like the Kuminga piece of this, if they do bring him back and he's happy, and then you also have the Al Horford piece, which seems to, again, who knows, man, but it looks like he's coming back. D'Anthony Melton, Seth Curry, who have been wanting on the Warriors for years. I think I'm with you, man. I think that's a championship team. What's your solution, I guess? Like, do you think the Warriors are better off, like, chemistry-wise if they trade Kuminga? And if yes, who do you trade Kuminga for?
Yeah, honestly, I think it's better if we let him go. But the thing is, I think if we could just sign him to like that 2-year whatever contract they had put out, and then trade him, I would trade him probably Keegan Murray. That would be an amazing from Sac. But
he doesn't want to do that. I mean, he's not going to do that. The 2-year 45 is not realistic, too. It's like that's why
it might just be the Cam Thomas like route that he goes with the qualifying offer, and then we're gonna have to work with Kuminga to get like just trash pretty much in return. It's a sad thing. But honestly, I think the relationship between Kuminga, and the Warriors it's beyond savable, honestly. And you could blame that on Kerr, and that was Kerr's fault for sure. I would say that's Kerr's fault, but I don't want to completely just put the thing on Kerr, because Kerr just trying to do his best just to win. So
yeah,
Kerr doesn't have any other.
I don't doubt that.
He's not trying to hate.
I just wish it. And Desiree, and this is, and I say this with conviction, dude, based on everything I've heard, I've experienced myself. If Steve Kerr had less ego, meaning if Steve Kerr was not as stubborn about him believing in himself as this like genius head coach, I would be a lot more sympathetic, dude. But Steve Kerr has that Bill Belichick disease, dude. Like, Steve Kerr in his mind thinks that the Warriors have 4 championships because of him. And I'm not making that up, dude. Like, that's what he believes. He defers and he admits Stephen Curry is this all-time great player, and he's lucky that Steph's his guy because he probably would have lost the job. But behind the scenes, when he's talking to people, like, in his mind, he thinks he's responsible. And that is a problem, dude. Like ego is just an illness in this world. And Kerr is so full of it, dude. That's my issue, Desiree. That's why I don't just bend over for Steve Kerr. And that's why I'm not like, I stopped 2.5, 3 years ago from just pretending he's this genius. Because I slowly started to see the decisions he's making. And then again, you start putting pieces together. You start talking to people behind the scenes. And dude, he thinks he's the next slice of sliced bread, man. Of what? Wait, how's that saying go? I don't care. Who knows? But you get what I'm saying. Any final thoughts, Desiree?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to disrespect like your view on Kerr and stuff.
It's okay, go ahead, man.
From what I see, he seems like I won't say humble, but he seems like a good guy. He doesn't seem like, I don't know, maybe you have your sources. I'm not that connected with the Warriors organization. Maybe you know people that know about Kerr and stuff like that. But to me, Kerr seems like a chill guy that just wants to win, add to his legacy, and he seems like he seems humble, honestly, in his post-game like things.
I guarantee if you ask Kuminga and Moses Moody, they would not share those same sentiments.
But that's more biased experience, because Kerr is not giving them minutes, so they're gonna, from their perspective, Kerr is like this evil person because he's not giving them minutes. Or
I don't even think they think that. I don't
not
even
evil
think they
person,
think
but
that.
they'll see him in a negative matter. Maybe not Moody, I don't know, but Kuminga for sure looks at him in a negative matter. So I think perspective matters, honestly, because
Yeah,
of
it
course
does.
from Kuminga's perspective, it's going to be there. He's not getting minutes, but from like fans' perspective, when their favorite player is not getting minutes, I guess Kuminga fans, stuff like that. Okay, yeah, of course, but like, what's the best for the team? That's what we have to realize, because this is a team sport. So honestly, just playing Kuminga with those other two, I honestly feel like it's not the best for our team, and I feel like he has a lot of potential, and he would be great on another team. That's just my final thoughts. And
Good
I just
thoughts.
hope this
Yeah, good
this
thoughts.
this, this
And
bullshit gets
Desiree,
ended.
if the Warriors had won a title in any of these last 3 years, with Kerr handling Kuminga and to a lesser extent Moody the way he has, I'd eat crow, man. I was ready to put a tattoo on my body of Steve Kerr last year just to happily admit I was wrong about all this. But we don't have any rings as a result of it. And that's why I'm so critical, is because like last year, for example, I'll go to my effing grave. I'll put my mortgage up. I'll bet anything that means anything to me. I would literally jeopardize my puppy, who I love like a son. I would put his life on the line. This is how much conviction I have in this opinion. If last year Steve Kerr just gives those GP2 minutes to Jonathan Kuminga, Stephen Curry has that fifth ring. That I'm certain of it. And to see players like GP2, these role players, to have as much value as they do under Steve Kerr, in Steve Kerr's eyes, that's just wild, man. And Kuminga's lost hundreds of millions of dollars because of Kerr's actions. So I could see Kuminga having a specific issue in this regard, because again, Kerr's decisions have cost him dearly. But it's just, we can agree.
Are you saying like
yeah,
Kuminga should have took GB2's minutes like in the first half of the season or after Jimmy?
All of it, just all of it. I mean, just period. Like GP2 should not be getting more than like 10 minutes a game, ever. Like, and he averaged 15. I don't know how many games he played. 25. You know, it's for what? Because Steve Kerr feels better about the screens that he sets for Stephen Curry, because he knows GP2 is not going to take shots from Stephen Curry. And this is why I'm not fully sold on Steve Kerr just wanting to win. So sometimes he's making decisions that seem out of spite, man. I don't know. I get the people who love Kerr because, look, man, the Warriors were nothing before he showed up. They won 4 championships. My focus is the more recent tenure, these last few years. And it's just a lot of decisions that just don't sit right with me, brother. That's all I'm trying to say. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, winning will cure everything. So hopefully we could just win. That's
right. And look,
that's
my tattoo offer still stands. If the Warriors win a championship this year, I'm getting a Steve Kerr tattoo. I might just get his face on my ass, and then I'll show my ass. No, maybe I won't do that. But this offer still stands, dude. That's how badly I want Steph and this organization as a whole to get that 5th ring, but especially Steph, because he's so effing special, dude. He's so one of a kind, dude. If I'm a fan of anybody, it's Steph. Like, dude, we're going to be old someday. Like, I'm going to be, 90 if I live that long. You'll be probably in your, I don't know what our age gap is, in your 60s. And we'll still be thinking about how great Stephen Curry was, man. That is how special this guy is. And that's my entire modus operatus in terms of agenda, dude. I just want Steph to get a 5th championship. So if it happens this year, brother, yeah, we're partying, dude. Absolutely right. And look, Desiree, I think it still could. I'm still optimistic. I think the Kuminga, this is why I'm worried about the Kuminga piece. Just give him the money. Just give him a 3-year, $82 million contract. So he's happy. So he's accepting this role that Kerr wants to give him this year. Worry about the future when the future comes. But a happy Kuminga this season, and you're adding Al Horford, you're adding Seth Curry. I don't even know what the other pieces are. We're hearing about Malcolm Brogdon, maybe. We're hearing about the kid who played on Phoenix last year. I'm already forgetting his name. Is it Cody Martin? And then and who knows, maybe GP2 comes back. And I don't mind that if Steve Kerr's not giving him 25 minutes. But my point is, make Kuminga happy, dude. And then bring these veterans and win a 5th chip. I think the door's open.
I mean, honestly, I think the relationship is beyond repairable. So I mean,
it might be.
I don't know. I don't think Kuminga wants to stay. So I mean, you could give him the contract, but what would his trade value be at that contract is the question. But yeah,
I hear you on that, man. It's a tough one. And again, I'm still fascinated about whether or not we're going to get some sort of announcement the moment the Valkyrie season ends. I could be totally just cynical about that part, but we shall see. Desiree, have a great weekend. All right, man.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
I know you were awesome, dude. And again, evidence that even if we disagree, we can still be super civil. And he's right. And look, Desiree is right about a lot of things. But the Kuminga part of this, I I will not defend Kerr, man. That's a hard line I'm drawing in terms of how he's handled that young man in the situation they're in now, which is a mess. It's because of the coach. It's because of the coach. All he had to do was just give his young players a little faith, a little nurturing, and most importantly, minutes. And the Warriors would be better off than they are now. That's my strong opinion. Shardal, wrap the show up with your energy. I still haven't come up with a good clip for you. Shardal, let's start with this. Do you have a favorite movie or a few favorite movies that you just love?
Two of my favorite movies are I love Top Gun and
Okay.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Okay. All right. I like it. Okay, so I'll pull something from one of those films. Ferris Bueller's Day Off is a chef's kiss for that one, dude. That's a beautiful film. How are you doing, man? Happy Friday.
Hi, Sai. I'm a big fan of your YouTube channel, Golden Days. Man, you make
Right
some
back at
great Golden State Warriors content on the platform. I wish you grind and make more. Get some more subscribers. Be up there
I'm
on
working on
YouTube. I
We're
love
working on
you.
it. We're getting there.
Everything I like about you is absolutely phenomenal about you. Everything you do on the
Do you like
channel
my
is
new
great.
Warriors? Do you like my new Warriors cup, by the way? It's not new. I've had it for years.
I love that cup, man. That's a
Well,
good that's a beautiful cup. I want to get that cup now. You got me on a different
Oh, Shardal. Well, I'm glad you reminded me. Dude, we've got a store. Let me share Shardal. You could help sell this with me real fast. On our YouTube channel, I'm going to share the page in just a second. I finally got this thing going, and I got to thank Tasha Johnson out there for giving me the nudge I needed. But on the Golden Days YouTube page, let me just take us there real quick. Sorry, it's taking me a lot longer than I wanted to. Here we go. You can now buy swag, and here's the really cool part. I'm working with this company who, again, you could buy this swag through. And of course, right when I go there, the store's right there. Okay, so let me share my screen. If you want me to make you something custom, I can do that for you. What we have so far, this store is going to be much bigger in the near future. We have trucker hats. We've got even Valkyrie's swag, where you could buy one of these Camelback water bottles with our logo on it. We've got a mug where you could drink your hot coffee and just look at Golden Days. And I took out my name and believe, so it's just the logo that you can. Anyways, we have a store. And especially with the holidays around the corner, I will be pimping this heavily. So forgive me for that in advance. I'm gonna buy one of these ones for myself. This black trucker hat. Anyways, I'm done.
I would love for you to make me a hoodie with your logo and my name on the back. Can you do that?
I think I can do that. I'll work on it, as long as you pay for it, of course. Shardal, go ahead, man. Floor is yours.
I'm a diehard fan of Jonathan Kuminga. He's a great basketball player. He has impressive athleticism. He has lots of talent, and I want to see him improve and shine on both ends of the court. Man, this guy's he is risen to stardom. He was born in the Congo. He rose to play in the NBA. I'm just I'm just a fan of him so much, and he's just a great athlete. But Steve Kerr should be giving him more minutes.
That's it.
Because
I
don't understand, because
man.
Steve Kerr is like a villain right now, not giving JK that many minutes and keeping him on the bench. Like Steve Kerr, like, I know you're a good coach, but
Agreed.
why are you keeping your star player on the bench? Like, what is your motto? What is going on in your brain that you would do such a blasphemous thing like that?
It is blasphemous. I agree with everything you said there. Let's shift gears for a second, man, because Niners football starts this weekend, correct?
Niners football starts on
Monday,
on Sunday, and they play the Seattle Seahawks to open up the season.
All right, what are we looking for here, man? Are the Niners going to win this game? Like, you are my Niner correspondent at the moment. Larry Krueger's so busy with the Niners. Him and I will resume collaborating soon. In case anyone thinks him and I had any real beef, that dude, a debate about Kerr is not going to end a relationship from my perspective. All right, and that was the extent of that. He will be back. He's just super busy with the Niners right now. So you will be my Niner correspondent. Are they going to win Sunday?
The 49ers are going to win on Sunday.
Good.
It's going to be tough because they're playing in a hostile environment at Lumen Field in Seattle, Washington,
Ooh.
in front of the Seahawks, who don't have Pete Carroll anymore. He's coach of the Raiders now, so they don't have Pete Carroll anymore on the Seahawks. I'm good, happy about that. Um, I don't like the Seahawks, man. I think they're gonna win. I think they're gonna win. I think the Niners are gonna win over the Seahawks, man. But
Hey,
it's not. It's not.
F the Cox.
F the Sea Chickens.
F the Sea Chickens. And Christian McCaffrey playing?
Christian McCaffrey is unfortunately not playing. He's on the IR with the calf injury, so he's not going to be
You're
playing
kidding.
Week 1 against the Seattle Seahawks.
I thought he came out and said he's feeling fine. He's
No,
on the IR now?
He's on the IR, and he's
Mother.
gonna miss game. He's gonna miss Week 1 against Seattle.
Oh, damn it. Well, Shardal, take us out, man. And to everyone out there, thank you. Shardal is our boy to end every show when we bring the audience in.
Sai,
Take it away, sir.
my cousin is coming over from San Francisco. She's staying for one night, so I get to spend time with her. And I got relatives coming over on Thanksgiving from New Jersey.
Is this a kissing cousin or just a platonic friendly cousin?
Friendly cousin.
Okay, all right. I'm being facetious. I know we're not in Alabama, so I don't think kissing cousins are a normal thing. But I kid. Go ahead. I
Hey,
apologize.
Sai, how often do you go live in your channel? I want to see you be consistent with your YouTube channel. Go live maybe 2 times a week, 3 times a week, 4 times a week.
Well, we've had I think 7 shows in the last 7 days, so we're doing okay. We're trucking. Shardal, when Mark Haynes and I do our Tuesday night show, the I-80 crossover, we could bring you on for that too. But yeah, I'll do some more live shows.
Sai, I love your humor that you bring
Right back at you.
on the channel, man. You keep it entertaining on your show.
Thank you, brother.
Would you like to ask me about how my cat is doing?
Buster. How is Buster doing?
Buster's doing very well. He's sleeping right now. He's a great cat, great member of our family. He's 16 weeks old. He's a tuxedo cat. And then he's a special member of the family now. At any time the Warriors don't win or the 49ers lose, my cat is definitely there to provide me company, to give me to bring a little positivity in my life.
Do you ever? Yeah.
I need as much positivity as in my life as I can get, and when I
We
come
all
on
need
your
that,
show,
yeah.
I feel that I can open up on your channel and share whatever I want to share.
You're allowed, dude. And look, is your cat? Does he sometimes go crazy like George Costanza?
All right, let's just stay calm here. Don't get all crazy on me.
Oh, sorry, I just had to play that. That's one of my favorite.
Yeah, my cat goes crazy. Like when you try and feed him his medicine, he acts crazy. And my dad, when my dad tries to feed him his medicine, he scraped my dad one time, multiple times.
Oh, that's not good. Were you laughing when that happened?
No, I was.
Oh my God, that is funny.
Sorry.
No, I wasn't laughing.
Yeah.
I wasn't laughing.
All right, sure. Don't take us out, man.
Yeah, my cat is kind of like Stephen Curry. Like, like he can be nice when you're nice to him, and he can be he can be vicious if you are if you play around him with them too much. My cat can be very vicious. He can bite.
And cats can do that. By the way, Shardal, a few years back, I think you're part of the old show when I was on Locked On. There was a clip I used to play a lot there, and this was in reference to Andre Iguodala. He was getting old, his body started breaking down, and what I don't want is to bring that back with Stephen Curry, who turns 38 this year.
Oh, my neck, my back, my neck and my back. Oh.
Yeah, I just don't want that to be a thing this year with Steph. That I'm a little worried about that. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I want Stephen Curry to be as healthy as he can be, because if Stephen Curry is healthy, he will have an amazing season, like the best season of his career.
Beautiful.
And I never want to see Steph Curry get injured.
I'm with you, brother. Any final thoughts, Shardal?
So Stephen Curry just recently went to China to host his tour, and he also had a camp over there in China, part of CurryCon. So he attended China to meet with all the players in that country. So Draymond Green will be the second Golden State Warriors player to make an appearance in China.
Good information. Thank you.
And it really sucked, and it really sucked that I wasn't there in China to meet Stephen Curry and meet him and get his autograph in China. I really want to be there. I've never been to China before. The last place I went to China was the Great Wall of China, when I walked on the Great Wall of China.
You've been there to the Great Wall?
Yeah.
Damn, that's impressive. Did it live up to the hype?
It didn't live up to the hype, but I definitely want to visit China because I'm an international type of guy, and I love to go to international countries, and that's just like that's just a place on my bucket list that I really want to go to.
I like it, and it's a good attitude to have to gain perspective. Look, man, a lot of us, and I don't know if you've ever been on this journey, Chardal, but we're all, most of us at least, are on a path of self-discovery, right? Trying to just figure out who we are, and travel helps a lot with that.
I didn't go to China, and I didn't go on the Great Wall of China. I'm bullshitting. I didn't actually go on the Great Wall of China.
Oh my God! You were just this whole time. You were just.
I'm bullshitting this whole time that I went to China.
All right, let's just stay calm here. Don't get all crazy on me.
God, just Chardal, that's a little too much, brother. You. By the way, every time someone mentions the Great Wall, I always think of South Park. One of my, I think it's safe to say my favorite show ever. And
hey, Sai, you and I should take a visit to China and take a day trip to China. Would you like to go?
Someday, if someone else is paying, sure. Do you ever watch South Park?
I watch South Park. It's one of my favorite shows.
I always, when someone says the Great Wall, I always think of those damn Mongolians. Anyways, Chardal.
Yeah, I love the line from South Park when Cartman says, "Respect my authority."
Yeah, I gotta get some more
respect my authority.
Chardal, have a great
weekend. Respect my authority.
I'm going to end on that note. That's a good note to end on. Thanks, everybody. We'll be back soon at the absolute latest Monday, another episode of V for Valkyries. We're going to recap their season wrapping up, previewing the postseason. Stay tuned for that. Thanks, everybody. I sincerely mean that from the bottom of my heart. Have a great weekend. It's Friday. Enjoy. Bye-bye.